is your program integrated into the library, and what steps did you take? And I'm just going to preface that by saying, when we started, and even when I started 14 years ago, there were still some library and literacy programs who were viewed as separate or extra or a campaign instead of a service. I'm happy to say that that's, for the most part, not the case anymore. Everybody sees this as a regular library service, but it doesn't happen on its own. So do you guys have comments about that?
In your packets, there is a list of how you can, the top 10 reasons how you can tell your program is integrated into the library as a service, if you look at that. So I quickly took a look at that while we were waiting, and saw that, in fact, we only hit about 50% of those points. But that being said, I think that our library views us, and our city views us, even maybe more importantly, as a crucial service for the community. In fact, our mayor at one of the more recent city council meetings said, and I quote him sort of, that he is very proud to be part of a city who offers such a wonderful service to the community. That to me was an indication of how well our program has finally integrated into city services. That being said, we are not fully integrated into the library, and it's something that we constantly work towards achieving. That we do sit at the table with the library admin team, for instance, who doesn't really look at us as the crucial service that we are.
Thanks.
And we're kind of opposite of that. The library loves us, and we are very much integrated into that. I have helped our librarians with a lot of their projects, and that's really helped make this a two-way street. But we are not very well loved by our city. There have been some historic issues that we are slowly overcoming. It doesn't hurt that our mayor and our vice mayor's wives are tutors of ours, so that's nice. But yeah, we're definitely integrated, and everybody there knows, if somebody comes to the desk, how to get them to me. We're never turning anybody away or handing them a flyer that says, here, go follow up with this person. It's always going to be a person walking them to the next step.
Great. Thanks.
And pretty much the same for us as far as integrated into the library. With Trina, I feel like we really are integrated into the library. The director fully supports us. She attends events. My supervisor attends events when they can. They do that. She asks us to be on projects and to constantly find new things to do. Sometimes a little too much, maybe, but are we taping this?
Yes.
We definitely feel good about that. She's very good about integrating us. Staff has gotten to the point where now they don't just send people down to find us. We're on the lower level of the library next to the coffee bar. People can stop right there, but they walk them to our doors. They bring people in, whether they're tutors or learners, and if no one is there, they know where to pick up the brochure and make sure that they come to us. The city asks us for information. We have council members at some events. It was a little better in the past, so maybe this new council, I need to do a little more training with them and some PR with them so that they come into it. But they do seem to support us there, and we get information in the newsletters, in the city information, rec services, and things like that.
Great. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Yeah, you just reminded me of one thing that this library staff changes frequently. There's new people that come in all the time, and it's really important to make sure that I think that literacy is one of the stops on the library tour, so that when new people come, they know where we are, what we do, and how we do it, what we can do, what we can't do. Additionally, if your library has all staff meetings, whether that's monthly or quarterly, to make sure that once a year you're up in front of the staff, reminding them of all the things that you can do, so that the librarians and the support staff all know, have a really good feel, and are able to represent literacy services for what we are.
Very good. And that beautiful. Thank you, guys. And yes, take a look at this. This is where you're headed. But what I would emphasize, two things. One is that this doesn't happen by osmosis. They have to go out and do this on a regular basis. Invite council members to things. Talk to new library staff. provide information to the library director, introduce them to adult learners and tutors that they can talk to so that they understand what's going on.
Trina, I just had if I could just hear a little bit of how the mayor's wives got involved as tutors.
I don't know.
How
They
do you
were
recruit
involved
the
before I
mayors?
got there.
Okay.
So they've been tutors for a long time. There's I mean, we're a small town, so quite a few of our tutors are prominent in one way or another throughout the town.
But a good recruitment strategy might be to look for some people like that. Yep.
During this, or you didn't say anything about, I was wondering how you go to the schools and make sure that personnel there know that you're available if something comes to them.
So that's been an issue in the past. The library and the school, they get their money from separate places. They're not always aligned for the same goals, especially when money's in play. And we just, a few weeks ago, were working with one school in particular in the city, and we went and did a family literacy night, and the kids got to make paper books, and they got to write family stories, and every kid got a book. And I spoke with the principal, and he is offering us space in the school to meet with parents during the day with our tutors.
Awesome. That's great.
So we're starting with that school, and, we're doing what we can there before we expand and go
Go to the
farther.
next place. Go ahead, Diane.
One more thing I was going to add, it does take a lot of work to continue, as Carla mentioned, and everyone has. Huntington Beach was one of the first libraries. I think we were one of the very first ones. So we've been around 30 years. Now, I haven't been there that long, but we've been around for 30 years. And it definitely takes work because as people change, and as everyone's mentioned, it does take a lot of work to get out there, go to those staff meetings, make sure that people see your face, go around, walk in the library, talk to the children's librarians and make sure that they know what you're doing when you have things coming up and the different events and get them involved because it's constant. You want to know what the rest of the librarians are doing, what's going on in your library when someone asks you. Well, it's the same way so that they won't know unless you are out there talking to them.
And we did some research a few years ago on how do our adult learners find out about us, and a huge percentage of them found out through the children's librarians because they've been hiding, but they don't want their children to deal with the same issues they've been dealing with. So they bring them to story time. They're there. So if you can spend some time with your children's librarians, helping them know how to talk to people and how to refer people, I think that's really important. And the second thing I'll say about integrating, one of the things that makes me feel okay about leaving is that our state librarian is a incredibly committed supporter of adult literacy. He loves this program. So if you ever need help, go to him because he gets it. We only had to introduce him to a couple learners, and he gets it big time. And that's what I would say too: is have a learner and a tutor speak to your staff meeting. Have them speak to your library director. Have them speak to your city council or county board because that's how you understand what the importance of what we're doing is. Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, the school issue, the teachers' associations have monthly meetings that perhaps you can get a seat at one of their meetings. Also, there are district events that they may have special ed or some focus on district events where we've actually had the opportunity to speak to the district. So they are aware of what we do.
Real quick, because as a former teacher, I can say there's times when you meet and you know that need is there, and even if your principal's not embracing or something, you can't know. There's been times when I want to refer parents
And
that didn't know how to refer them.
Yeah, I put out a flyer last year to all of the schools. Parent-teacher conferences are coming up, and you as a teacher probably have a pretty good idea of who could benefit from our services,
There you
and
go.
here's how
Good
to
idea.
contact us, and here's us, and here's the community college, and here's the adult school. And so that's how to do that. Just a quick little story about the children's librarian thing. We had a student who came in, and he had been meeting with a tutor for a while, and then I got a new assistant who used to be up on the circ desk, and he came in one day, and she said, "Is he a tutor?" And I said, "No, he's a student." She said, "No, he's not." I said, "Yeah, he is." She said, "No, he brings his kids every week. They check out huge stacks of books. He's at every library book sale." I said, "I know. That's because he doesn't want his kids to be doing the same
The
thing."
same thing, yes.
So, yeah.
So yeah, utilize those children's librarians.